Now it's stripping time.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
This is Hard Parking, brought to you by Right Honda and Right Toyota out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Those of you who listen to this show already know I am your host, Jhae Finning, recording from my home studio in Gilbert, Arizona. Coming up on today's show, you've heard about the NSX that was found in a river. Today we talk to those behind Helix Auto Works, Nico Zaga, Jhae Bozeman, and Ramzi Vincent. And I also tell you about my current obsession with YouTube. All that and more coming up after this word from 4Wheel Online. Jhae Finning here, and I want to tell you guys about 4Wheel Online. For over a decade, 4Wheel Online has been bringing the best truck accessories and truck parts to enhance the appearance and performance of all trucks and SUVs. They are dedicated to providing an extensive range of upgrades that will match any maker model on the road. The truck products cover everything you need to give your truck a custom look and added functionality. And if you need a tire and wheel package, head over and use the configuration tool. They carry all the major brands of wheels and tires, so go get outfitted today. So visit them online at 4Wheel Online or call them at 813-769-2451. Again, that's 4Wheel Online, the number 4Wheel Online. I was at the Circle K the other day, and they have this self-checkout. So the thing is, you walk up there, and you just place your items underneath this scanner. Like you don't do the normal thing where you slide the barcode across the eye. You just put your item or items on this thing, and it somehow scans them all and gives you your total. The Circle K had 2 of these, and then there's the girl who works there, and she's just sitting there hammering social media or whatever on her iPhone. I don't know, maybe she had an Android. And I don't know why she was there. I guess if you wanted to buy gas, but that was the craziest thing. That's the future. Self-checkout at Circle K. So I've been on this reaction video kick on YouTube. I used to think, why would you want to sit there and watch people watch other things or react to certain things? Because in theory, it sounds dumb. It doesn't make any sense. But I being honest, when I sit there and watch people react to music for the first time, like certain songs from the past, it might be some couple hearing Phil Collins in the Air Tonight for the first time. And of course, everyone loses their minds when he does a breakdown with the drums. Oh my gosh, he plays the drums too? Movie reactions is always a good one. But when you watch people react to something that you already like, it's almost like validating. It sounds funny, right? But it's almost, that's right. I told these people it was good. Now you get to experience it too. Yes, that's what I thought. I love it when that happens. But one of my favorite ones to watch are people reacting to Jordan videos. I've seen people react, like I've seen the Michael Jordan mixtape that the NBA created a few years ago. And it's called like Bulls Jordan mixtape. So it's only him as a Chicago Bull. I've probably watched that video or reaction to that video 50 times. And every single time I get hooked and I watch the same thing over and over, but it's a different person reacting. One of the things these people do is they upload the same thing and react to it more than once to kind of generate more views and all that kind of shit. And it's kind of cheating the system, I think. And eventually that catches up with you. Another one is called Jordan Voyager. Look them up. They are freaking amazing. There's also Actors on Actors or Hollywood Reporter. That's where one actor interviews another actor. And so you get like the raw interview. Essentially, the raw conversation. It's not the red carpet question. It's something they both can relate to and talk through, and it feels like you're listening to and watching a real person. You're no longer watching an actor. And then when they do the Hollywood Reporter, it's a whole table of them, and it could be, for example, I'll say Morgan Freeman, Tom Cruise, Joe Pesci, John Boyega, and some other up-and-coming someone who's not really known, but they're sitting around the table with these other iconic actors from the last 50 or 60 years. And there's usually one interviewer, and they kind of go around the table and answer the same question and have discussions and kind of joke and play around with each other, and it's pretty raw. That's the randomness of this podcast. Here I am. It's a non-automotive automotive podcast, and I'm talking to you about shit that I watch on YouTube. I'm talking to you about self-checkouts at Circle K. But that's not what you're here for. Coming up next, Helix Auto Works, Nico Zaga, Jhae Bozeman, and Ramzi Vincent. So many of you have seen, unless you were born yesterday, that an NSX was pulled from River. It was purchased by Helix Auto Sports. On the phone, I have Nico Zaga, Jhae Bozeman, and Ramzi Vincent of Helix Auto Sports. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Very good.
Muy bien.
So first off, Nico. So we'll have to identify you guys because I can't, people aren't used to. Well, everybody knows Nico's voice because you can't really understand, everything all the time. But
captions, baby, captions.
You guys. So which one of you are spearheading this effort?
Well, Jhae saw it online, and then we have a quick poll saying, like, shall we do this? We were actually pursuing another NSX that was kind of like, not in the bestest of shapes to like restore it. And, we were like, let's do it, let's restore this thing.
So Jhae.
Yeah.
Great. So you see this online because that's my question. It's like, okay, how are you notified of this? You just always look for cars to, like restore and fix up and stuff like that. So do you know what the actual origin story of this car being found in the river was? Someone fishing or some shit?
Well, what happened was I was kind of poking around Facebook, saw a post that had only a few views at the time of this car, and I saw a number on the sign in the picture, so I decided to call him. Called the guy, found out that he only wanted $6,000 for it, and got a little bit of information on it at the time. Heard that it was stolen in 2003, or it was, that it was reported stolen. I don't know what really happened, but then they either dumped it somehow it ended up in the Yadkin River, and then it kind of stayed there until 2019 when a missing person investigation was reopened to look in a specific area for this kid that they believed was in a car under the water there, and they ended up doing some sonar, and they found I think they found 3 cars. They found a truck, and then this kid's car, and then they found the NSX further up the river, and then the police came and pulled it out, and I don't know what it really did. Well, once it got out, I think it sat at maybe an impound lot until the paperwork cleared because it was a kind of a stolen car. So, but that's pretty much the story I know. And the guy who bought it, who owned that salvage yard, saved it from being crushed just because he thought it was kind of cool, and then decided to see if he could sell it. And then, of course, called. Now, I don't think I was the first. I don't know if between Becca or me, I don't know who was the first, but it ended up getting up the price to about $8,500. So we ended up pulling the trigger, and kind of the rest of history. It kind of blew up. I didn't even know this was going to be that big of a deal until the next day. I was working on this customer car. I was under this Civic doing an alternator, and my phone wouldn't stop, buzzing and ringing and stuff. And I found out that it was all over the news, and it was just weird, this whole thing.
And so I've heard that when you guys fully restore this car, if you're able to, which is it's an awesome, almost looks like an impossible task, but anything is possible today. When you're able to, is this a Ramzi car? Because Ramzi, we've had conversations before in the past and in person. I know you love the NSX. You need an NSX. You want an NSX. Could this end up being your car?
It's a distinct possibility. I guess, kind of to pick up a little bit where Jhae left off, right? That was kind of the plan, is like, I didn't want to buy a pristine car because, like, I'm kind of a track rat.
Right.
All my cars are beaters. They're
nice.
Fast, they're reliable, but
they're nice. They're nice. Yeah.
So, I was kind of looking for something less than perfect. And again, now got a huge popularity and this massive following, and there's so many people engaged where, it's like, well, what do the people want?
Right.
So it's kind of like almost like to be decided by the followers kind of thing. So I'm excited to see where it goes. And I'm kind of open to whatever, obviously, yes, I would like to have an NSX that I can call my own. And it's a good platform, and I guess we'll just see what the comments and the polls, and Nico's doing a great job of coordinating all that. So I'll kind of leave it at that for now.
So do you guys know that once you get everything put together, and it seems like it's a long ways from now, it could be, maybe not, but do you guys know already if it's something that can be registered, or is it like a Chris cut situation where you don't have a lot of options and you basically have to cut the car in half?
I think it can be registered. We're still looking into that, but I don't see why it wouldn't be able to. I mean, we have the old tag that was recovered. It was still on the car when we pulled it out of the water, or when they pulled it out of the water. So I think we'll be able to contact the right people and just say, hey, we bought this car. We're going to restore it. What do we need to do to get it titled?
Have you guys found anything fun in the mud? How much mud was there? Did you ever disclose how much the thing actually weighed? Because I saw the Instagram poll, but I don't know if the results are, or is that top secret, or is it coming out in one of your videos that you guys are making?
It is coming out in one of the videos.
Okay.
The reason I started like more wondering about how much of the actual car weighs is because they put the NSX on the U4 trailer, right? And I'm just like doing a slow pace, towing the car, and so I'm towing it with a Raptor, and I tow other cars with my Raptor before, never have an issue. Everything was great. And the moment I started leaving North Carolina, right, and I'm on the highway, and the speed limit, I think it's like 70 or something. So I'm like going to 70, 75, 80, and I hit a bump, right? I hit a bump, and I almost killed myself. Like the car started like moving left and right. Luckily, there was nobody around me, and I started slowing down like 40. So I can recover, control of the car. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, and I stopped, and I called the guy. I said, hey man, something's weird. My car is like, there is this sway going on. Every time I hit a bump, like the trailer was like swinging and making my Raptor like going left and right. And I was like, this is so strange. And it happened once, it happened twice, it happened 3 times. And like, you know what? I'm not touching this car anymore. So we called a buddy of ours, Fonzie, Low Pro. And I was like, yo, you need to help me out. Like, I don't feel comfortable driving this thing. Like, I almost hit someone the 3rd time. And I was like, this is not good. So we parked right next to a Honda dealership. I mean, we didn't plan that. I just happened to be parked there.
Sure.
And like everybody was stopping by. And then Fonzie came over. And he got out of his car. And he's like, yo, like, look at that thing. It's like, look at your tires. So I went to look at my car. And it's like, my tires are fine. It's like, no. Look at the trailer. The tires in the trailer. Dude, that thing was almost flat.
Oh.
Like almost flat. Like the car. So the guy that put the NSX on the trailer, since the car doesn't roll, he couldn't put it on the by the doorstop without damaging the frame. So he's like, I'm gonna put it in the middle. But then, like, when I look at it, I was like, this thing doesn't weigh 3,000 pounds. This thing weighs way more. And then when the Fonzie put it on his bed on the tow truck, like you could see like it was moving the actual tow truck a lot. And I was like, okay, I need to find out how much this weighs. So let me tell you, that NSX weighs almost as much as a Raptor.
Now, you guys don't have to tell us now, but have you found anything cool through all the river crap? All the mud.
Beer can.
Just a beer can out of all that? You don't have to tell us what it was, but you could be like, yeah, we found something, or no, we ain't find shit.
For what? Well, I think Jhae found something in the engine bay, right? Was it like a bird nest or like maybe like a rat thing?
Yeah, I think it was a mouse nest or something.
So that was probably after they pulled
creatures.
it out, right? That's probably because, I mean, it sounds like it could have been sitting for a couple of years and no one knew about it.
Yeah. I think it sat since 2019 until we purchased it.
It survived COVID.
Yeah, it did.
All right. So could you guys, 2 questions for you, because I know you guys are short on time. Number one, and you kind of mentioned it earlier, but I mean, the amount of attention this thing is grabbed. Every major publication has been talking about it. You know, Haggerty, Road and Track, Motor Trend, whatever else. I think Fox News, someone posted a story.
Yep.
Could you ever even imagine something like this? Because really, and I know you guys are friends with Chris, you know, with his NSX trailer, I mean, for Jeff Foxworthy to say that's what happens when rednecks get money, you know, his car has caught crazy amount of attention. I would argue that this caught quicker, faster, bigger attention than even that. Like, could you guys even have imagined that?
No.
We didn't buy this. We didn't buy this car for, you know, notoriety. I saw it and I was like, man, I want to build that. That would be cool to fix.
Dude, none of you guys are attention whores. First off, I know every single one of you, and none of you guys, like, you're humble as shit. So I mean, it's nuts.
It were very low key, right? So I saw some articles. They were like, "Oh my God, like those guys bought it because they knew they're gonna have all these crazy attentions." Like, no, we bought this car because we were planning to buy another car, another chassis, and they were asking too much money for what we were getting. So we were like, you know what, we're not gonna buy this chassis anymore. And then Jhae came out with this picture, and they were like, I mean, I asked him, like, well, it's a couple of A-pillars. They're like, you know, not in the greatest of shapes, but like, you think we can fix it? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you know what? Let's pull the trigger. Worst comes to worst, we're going to end up with a chassis. We're like not thinking much of it. And then here we are.
So I have a set of taillights if you guys need them. I don't have the centerpiece, but perfectly working left and right. No cracks. All bolts intact. So just let me know.
We also don't have a centerpiece, but I guess you will have to watch the video for that one.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. And so talk to me, okay, real quick about the families. Like, has this affected your families at all? Has it basically kept you up at night, or your wives and kids just like,
yes,
Dad, shut the hell up. We're tired of hearing about this.
Go ahead.
Well, I would say from my perspective, my wife Ian's been pretty awesome because, you know, we're basically working on this thing, you know, once a week now, among all the other stuff that we have going on. And, you know, we also have other jobs, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot going on. And, you know, this is one more thing to take us away from family. So my wife's been pretty awesome about kind of picking up my slack on that, on that work day that I get to work on this car. And, you know, mostly supportive, you know, but, you know, I got to buy some brownie points back, you know, and take the kids out to dinner and, you know, take care of all the sporting events and stuff like during different days of the week. So, yeah, it's kind of give and take, I'd say.
It's crazy. I got customer cars that I'm still working on. You know, and then my car is just got back from paint, and I was hoping to have that thing ready. And it's like, okay, I got to put this aside. So, but I also don't want to neglect customer work. Right. You know, we want to get that done. And so I've been real clear that I'm only going to support one day a week until my customers' cars are done. And then I'll, you know, focus on this a little bit more.
Yeah, because Jhae, in the NSX world, like, you're the one that's known out of the three of you more for actually working on NSXs around the clock and unveiling things. So, you know, at least your wife is used to it.
Oh yeah, Monica's great. I mean, I did build her a really nice NSX, so she really.
They don't do it.
Yeah, she's actually been kind of excited about it. She thinks it's kind of hilarious how, you know, we showed her the car and she just thought she thinks we're crazy. So.
So guys, tell us about the show. Tell us about your video series that's coming out and where people can really, in case they just woke up yesterday or were born yesterday, where can they find out information to follow along other than being tagged every time Nico posts it on Instagram?
I mean, we have like the channel at Helix Auto Works, and then we're gonna be posting like videos once a week. The demodding is gonna be kind of like the longest episodes, or like we have to break it in parts. So we have the trunk, the engine bay, the frunk, and the interior. So, and then from there we're gonna take it to like assess what we need to buy, because we already saw that the suspension is not on the greatest shape, and all the wheels are definitely toasted and potentially like attached to the rotors, because that thing is crazy.
I have one wheel. I have a wheel as well. I bought it to collect
wheel,
them.
there's a way.
Yeah, there's exactly. Well done.
Somebody posted like, what does the passenger side have of the spare tires? Like, we don't know, man. We just got the car. Like, we'll figure it out. We'll do an NCIS swamp NSX that way. So
this thing's nuts, man. It's just crazy that someone would do this in the first place. According to Carfax in 2003. Or I don't know what the date was, but last reported mileage was about 37,000. So
crazy.
It's just, it hurts. It hurts so bad because most of us in the NSX community are rocking 150 plus or 100,000 plus miles, and to see somebody dump an NSX, it's got 37,000 miles on it. It's just like, oh, it hurts. So
you think it was an insurance thing?
I do because it's too strange that somebody would steal a car with a donut on it, and you know what I mean. And like, it's just the whole thing is weird. It was probably an insurance scam, but
windows down too.
Yeah, it's weird. The windows are intact; they're rolled down. I mean, they look intact. It's my assessment. We haven't torn the doors off or anything, but. It's just the whole thing is just very strange. At the end of the day, it's ours now, and I'm glad because it's a fun project. I love doing stuff like this. My favorite customer jobs are the full restorations. I love that kind of stuff.
Well, speaking from somebody else in the NSX community, the three of you are well known, the Honda Acura world, and I can't think of a better group to have picked this thing up. Helix Auto Works, Ramzi, Nico, Jhae, thanks for spending time with me on Hard Parking. And hopefully I can connect with some of you guys again in the future.
I will definitely talk to you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for reaching out. Appreciate it.
I want to thank Ramzi, Nico, and Jhae for joining. A little bit of trivia. Nico was one of the first sponsors of this podcast way back in its infancy. I'll always be in debt to him for being one of the first people or companies to believe in this podcast. I mean, this was way back when we had nothing. There's not a lot of NSX owners out there. And so many of us either know each other or know of each other. And Ramzi's I haven't seen Ramzi in a few years. I think the last time I saw him, I don't think it was in an NS Expo. I think it was maybe Pikes Peak. We were at Pikes Peak together, chronicling Peter Cunningham in the real-time TLX GT as he broke a record. Then he broke his own record. And then he broke his own record again. I was not there the third time. Excellent group of guys. And excited to follow along. Again, that is Helix Auto Works. Just look for them. They're popping up everywhere. And the amount of attention they've received so far, it's almost like they're pressured to just keep going. Like they have to do it now. But I hope they find that balance. That's one of the things I struggle with, is finding that balance between what I'm doing this and the family and other things, because at some point something gives. But I think with the Hydra approach of the three of them, all three heads, they're going to do great things with this. And again, excited to see what the future holds for this project. And with all interviews, that was brought to you by the Cell Shop, an Arizona-based retailer that strives to be your destination of choice for wireless services, whether Arizona, Washington State, California, Texas, or Florida. They're an authorized AT&T dealer, so visit them at sellshop.us and get connected today. A bit of continued news from the most recent episode or two. We did settle on a car. We have sold my wife's Audi, and we have closed on a lease. I will tell you about that next week. Want to thank Right Honda and Right Toyota at Scottsdale, Arizona, 4wheelonline.com, as well as the aforementioned Cell Shop Wireless Services, Patreon business supporter, Kuya Automotive out of Warren Garden, Florida, Hell Construction out of Caledonia, Michigan, Beak House, Small Home Design, Ashburn, Virginia, and Traverse City, Michigan, Westgate Exotic Cars Rentals out of Glendale, Arizona, and Shaping Success with the West Tankersley out of Boise, Idaho. If you own a business, you want a business shout out, also gives you an opportunity to claim this as a write-off on your taxes because you all know you need them. Feel free to stop by patreon.com, hardparking podcast. Or if you're just a regular person who wants to support the show, you can join in for as little as $3 a month as well. Get access to bonus audio as well as show swag. I want to thank Mark Stolman, Kathy Cox, Eddie Ramos, Richard Graves, Byron Jones, Bo Jung, Alex Camina, Andrew Bunkley. If you want to email the show, hit me up at hardparkingpodcast@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram at jfinning. Head over to hardparkingpod.com. Share that with a friend. Join the Hard Parking Violations Facebook group. I can't grow like you're telling the world how great the show is. Let's do this. Let's grow this in together. I'll talk to you all next week.
Shut up!